Hey guys, Dimpo here, back with another Street Fighter Duel video. And in today's video, we're gonna take some time and discuss Final Showdown, which is my favorite mode in this game. And why is it my favorite mode? Well, I think there's one that has the most variables, right? You have dolphins upsetting whales, you have free-to-play upsetting whales, it takes splits, it's team strategy, team composition, speed, so on and so on, right? I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Also, the characters and the quality of the characters, right? So today, I think we're just gonna walk through some do's and don'ts of Final Showdown, and also some interesting matchups and lineups that I've seen in the qualifiers. Right, I'll be doing a team composition tier list in the next video, but right now I just wanna go over the qualifiers and some of the upsets that I've seen and some of the losses that could have been easily avoidable. Right, so let's start with the do's. And number one do is get creative with your lineups, right? But be mindful. So, what do you want when you create a team lineup? Essentially, you want as much as cleave damage as possible. But cleave, I mean AoE, right? Or have someone like Akuma that's absolutely beast a single target. So, how you decide to compose your teams, it's up to you. But you just gotta make sure each member complements the team in one shape or another, right? Now, I just want to bring your attention to this fight here. We have two teams. So, oops, apologies, that's the wrong one. It is this fight here, right? So we have two teams, one of it being a meta team. In my opinion, this is like a top three or top four team, right? You have Bizang, Bison, F Blanca, and Elena. Well, what makes this team so formidable is you have Bison, he can tank anything and everything. You have Bizang with the speed and interrupts. You have Blanca, which is probably the highest or maybe second highest AoE damage dealer in the game. And then you have Elena, right? So this is a very tanky lineup with like significant damage output and speed and interrupt, right? And on the other hand here, you have a team that has no right winning here, but they did anyway, right? And it's not because this guy stuffed up his combos, it's because of the speed factor. I'll talk about it in a second. This is a very fast team, and this is a very slow team. And the slowness of this team actually gave him the edge, which gave him the defeat. Because if this team was as fast, Bizang would have interrupted him. So let's just watch the fight and then we'll analyze it, right? So this guy set up his team perfectly. You know, opens up with Blanca, then Elena, then Bizang, then Bison. But as you can see here, as he starts his super and in combo, the enemy bar is still filling up, right? So by the time this team is finished dishing out damage, the other team will begin their combo. So that doesn't give Bizang the opportunity to interrupt. So now this turned into a battle of attrition, right? Because the window is missed for interrupt. So it's not an easy win any longer. And because this other team, right, has the tankiness and the heals, but also his Blanca is hitting some big crits here, managed to actually snatch the victory and walk away, which caused the other person to drop out of the competition, right? And this is what I love about it. Like some people get creative with their lineups. Sometimes it's RNG. You can never predict it, right? You're not guaranteed to have the same outcome twice. So kudos to Lord Akuma here for upsetting TikTok, right? As I said, this team had no business winning whatsoever. So that's definitely a doozy, right? Get creative with your lineup. If it works, use it, right? Second is plan ahead, right? So do you want a team that will have, tankiness and longevity, or do you want a team that's going to be fast? So I'll show you another fight here, right? So if I go to group 2, this fight here, right? Once again, same lineup, except he's using Street Poison instead of Elena, right? This team has even more damage out potential, but this team here is tanky AF, right? He's got two tanks, Blanca and Elena. He doesn't care about the C3 because he knows his C1 and his Super and his C2 are more than enough to wipe out any team. So if we watch this fight, Beanie made one mistake. If Beanie changed his combo C2 to Bizang to interrupt, because this team is Aliga's team for some reason is very fast, right? Look, it's going straight afterwards. If he used Bizang's C2 instead of Blanca's, I don't think Aligar would have won this. I think this was Beanie's to win. But because he went for that extra C2 damage in Blanca instead of the interrupting Bizang, it cost him the match, right? So it's very important to choose what you want to go for. I understand why you went for the extra damage because of Street Poison, but I think that interrupt on Bizang is invaluable, so I would always go for Bizang C2. Now, if I was running Akuma, I wouldn't be running Bizang in the same team because, Akuma takes up that C2 slot. So that's another one there. Now, don't. Please, before you go to bed, I know I've asked for an Asia Pacific reason, it's usually nighttime and then the fight takes time in the morning, whether it's 8 a.m., 9 a.m., whatever it is, right? Check your combos. I will show you what stuffing up a combo can do, right? So if I go to my zone real quick here, and we look at, where is it? King, for example, and AK Gunner. Like, AK Gunner should not have won this, right? Look at the team he's running against the team he's going against. He's gonna max out Bison, Akuma, and Street Poison. And All Might here is running Chun-Li and Dalsim, right? And this is what lost King the fight, essentially, right? Look at the way he opens up, right? He set up his team correct, right? But then he stuffs up his C2, right? He probably didn't check, and Zangief ends up being his C2. I'm pretty sure this is not by design, right? And then he has Emryu as a C3. And this guy, he's having a field day. If Akuma was C2, that Dalsim would have been deleted from the get-go. Like that Dalsim would not have survived any of that, right? But as a result, it cost him the fight here. So, Dalsim's having a field day with that AoE, and he just wipes out his entire team. Makes it seem really easy when this should have been a straightforward fight for King, right? I mean, I'll show you another one. So if I go to this is oh, this is even the worst one, right? This guy will be kicking himself. So if you look at this one here, for example, look at this. Like, look at this team and look what he lost to, right? So this is 100% Soggy Bird's fault for not checking his combos. Please, guys, I cannot emphasize this enough. Make sure your combos are correct when you set them up. And he's also missing an EX move here. So he's opening up with Bizang, followed by F Blanca, by Street Poison, and then Bison. And then essentially he's getting wiped out. So I'll just fast forward this. Oh, look at this, like, he's not even gonna last past the 50-second mark. He's done. That's it, GG, game over. And the other guy's team is not even basically damaged, right? Only Viper took a bit of damage. So please, your combos, check them. You have to, right? Now, one more don't, right? Just because you've invested it, like, here's the thing. Don't fall in love with your units. Just because you've invested, for example, in a unit like someone like Flame Chun-Li, she's not good for PvP. Don't use her for PvP. I know you've maxed her out and you got all the cars and fighting spirit. Use her for the intended purpose of boss fights, right? That's where she shines. Because putting her in your lineup, it'll definitely cripple your team. Another thing is, if you have half-baked units like your Sagats or your Ibukis, like you got them red or yellow or whatever they are, right? Don't use them. Like put a 5-star, full car unit in there until you have that unit maxed. And please, for the love of God, do not stretch yourself too thin. Right, in gachas, and especially this one, your resources are very limited. You want to make sure you get the maximum bang for your buck. So leveling one character at a time is gold. Like, it will take your account to another level. Do not spread yourself too thin, and then you have like 5 or 6 units that are unusable. Right? Always, 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 always level up one unit at a time. And last but not least, while we're in the same topic, synergy, guys. Team synergy is very, 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 very important. So if I find someone here, for example, like, who can I pick on? Let me see. Kui. Let's pick on Kui, for example, right? He's got a solid team, right? A very solid team, but the way he's running this team doesn't make sense. He's got a main carry in Viper. He's got a main carry in Blanca, right? And then he's got Dulcim there. And he's not even using a tank. Um, he's running Bizang. So this Dulcim is just gonna get obliterated, right? And he's using 2 valuable units, 3 technically valuable units. He's putting all his eggs in one basket. Never do this, right? The way I would have done this is, this team here would have been with Bizang. I would have taken Rose out, and I would have put an Elena in there, or even Fashion Sakura for that matter, right? Then in your second team, you want, your F Blanca, you want your Rose, you want someone like Elena or Street Poison, right? And then you want a tank there. And then your third team here, I would have used Sea Viper. I would have used if you didn't use Sakura in this team, I would have put it in there, right? But point is, like, these teams don't synergize. In MH Ken and Bizang, he essentially has the meta team. Like, I believe he's still bar none. Like, that team is unbeatable. If you put Elena, Bizang, MH Ken, and Bison in there, unless someone mirrors your team or uses a Virgil, they're literally unstoppable. Or maybe perhaps the same team with an Iryu instead of MH Ken, they got no chance. Absolutely no chance. Like, that team will just polish everyone. So that's what you should have done, right? So remember, don't check your combos. Don't go, don't go to bed until you sort out your team. Um, Plan via synergy. You know, make a choice whether you're going for speed or you're going for for the tankiness or longevity. Um, what else? But yeah, just everything that I basically mentioned in a nutshell, right? If you want to succeed in this showdown, that's the way to go, right? Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. In the next video, I'll be going through a tier list of the best teams for Final Showdown. Anyways, catches.